Hello, everyone, and welcome. We are going to get started in just about 1 minute. Hello, everyone, and thank you for being here. We are going to get started in just a few minutes. We're going to let everyone have a chance to log on and get their audio all set up. As we are just joining the webinar here, if you have a second, please introduce yourself in the chat so that we can get to know each other. All right, we are going to go ahead and get started. Good afternoon. Welcome to the Indiana Youth Institute's webinar, AI Empowering Post-Secondary Success Through Intelligent. My name is Joshua Long, and I serve as the Senior Educational Content Manager here at the Indiana Youth Institute. We are delighted to have you with us for today's presentation. It is an honor to connect with a dedicated community of Indiana youth workers who remain steadfast in their commitment to addressing the needs of youth and children. For those who are not familiar with IYI, our mission is to improve the lives of all Indiana children by strengthening and connecting the people, organizations, and communities that are focused on kids and youth. Ultimately, our goal is to be here to support you, youth workers, who are on the front lines working with the youth across our state. Before we begin, I'd like to share a few pointers with you to help you engage in today's. For any technical support issues, use the chat feature to send a message, and Tanner Pickett with IYI is behind the scenes to assist you. Use this feature to converse with the group as well. We will be sending out a PDF of all IYI and webinar slides to our participant after today's webinar. We also encourage you to ask questions, so please use the Q&A feature for any that you may have, and we'll get to as many as possible. We will also try to save time at the end of today's presentation to answer any questions that have not yet been answered or addressed. Later today, you will receive an email with a link to complete an evaluation of this webinar. Please take a few minutes to let us know what you thought about today's presentation. If you do not receive the evaluation email, check your junk as it may have been directed there. Once you complete your evaluation, you will be redirected to your certificate of participation. Like all IYI's webinars, today's webinar will be posted on our website if you would like to revisit a portion later or share the opportunity to listen to partners. And so as we move into the webinar, I just wanted to give a little introduction. As professionals focused on preparing youth for success beyond high school, we understand the importance of leveraging innovation to meet students where they are, especially when it comes to technology. Artificial intelligence is rapidly transforming how young people explore post-secondary pathways, and integrating AI tools into advising practices can unlock new levels of personalization, engagement, and efficiency for both students and youth-serving professionals. Today, we are fortunate to be joined by Ian Zhu from School. Ian is a leading voice in the development of AI-driven platforms that support post-secondary readiness. His work centers on creating smart, student-centered tools that help learners make informed decisions about their futures. We look forward to exploring how Schooljoy's AI features can streamline college and career planning, support counselors and mentors, and ultimately increase access and post-secondary outcomes. And so with that, I am going to turn it over to Ian. Ian?
Thank you so much, Josh. Thanks everyone for having me. My name's Ian Zhu. I'm the founder of Schooljoy, and I'm here not as I'll just address the pink elephant in the room, not as a vendor, but really just as a conveyor of the art of the possible. AI is moving very quickly. How do we really make sense of all the changes that are happening? So let me go ahead and start by sharing my screen here. This is a map of all of the new AI-powered tools in education. And I think this is pretty reflective of how we're feeling as well, which is overwhelming. There's always this mix of excitement and also overwhelm when it comes to really grappling across all the different use cases of AI in education. And if we were to take a step back, that's actually happening to the world, right? So the AI is changing very, very quickly. And along with it, it's also making the future feel a bit more unpredictable. So what can we do? What can we do to focus on the things that truly matter? And that's really what defines how we think about the use of technology, which is to focus on the students, the skills, and the content areas that they need to be successful in an ever-changing world. 87% of companies say already that they either have or expect skill gaps in the next 5 years. And we think this trend will continue as we see more technologies develop. And it's also adding a lot of pressure on students and in our institutions. And when we look at what those skills might be, where those skill gaps might sit, 66% of jobs by 2030 will be soft skill intensive. And that, in a way, makes sense. Our view is that as long as there are humans, there will always be a need for skills that allow us to build relationships with others, whether it's in the workplace or in school. And those skills will continue to be more important, not less important, as AI makes a bigger impact in the world. 92% of companies also believe that soft skills, and in some instances we do use durable skills, are at least as important, if not more important, than the technical and hard skills. So there's a saying, right? Hard and technical skills can get you through the door, but it is those soft skills and durable skills that help you stay within the company and also flourish. But as we think about how these skills are currently being developed or trained, I can't see your faces, but raise your hand if you've ever done a role play with someone else that did not feel at least a little awkward. And also we have a lot of we actually can't raise your hands. There, great, thanks for doing that. And we have video-based training as well. But how can we watch a video to learn communication and empathy and relationship building? So this is where, where we can ask a pretty reasonable question: is there a role for technology to play here, right? And that's something that we want to speak to today. I just want to give a shout out to Indiana Youth Institute because your data book is phenomenal. And I'm glad you're sharing this. And I promise that I did not use, and I was just telling the team, I did not use AI to look through the document because it was too big for Claude. It was exactly 55% too big for Claude to ingest the document. So I just used the good old control find. And what I found was that there has been a huge improvement in the student to counselor ratio. And there's still, looking at the numbers objectively, you can still tell that counselors are doing quite a lot. So is there a role for technology to play here? And also, 53% of bullying incidents in 2024 were either verbal, social, or relational. We think all of these instances and trends and data, they're all connected. They speak to a simple fact that in some ways, our students are starting to um, are starting to not have as many opportunities to develop the critical, durable, and future-ready skills. And how can we help them enhance and hone on those skills without adding more work to our counselors? We're also very excited about the new Indiana diploma requirements. So there's a section here for both honor seals and honor plus seals that state that students need to complete X number of hours of work-based learning. And that's great. We think it's a phenomenal opportunity for students to acquire those hands-on skills. And the types of work-based learning opportunities that students can take on could be paid, unpaid, on-site, and the key here is simulated. 7% of our students get the internship opportunities that they want. What happens to the other 93%? And that's also where technology can come in to say, hey, we agree that the best possible opportunity is for the students to be on site and to interact with the company. But sometimes that's physically impossible for some kids, right? Sometimes it's physically impossible for us to get an internship to every student. So a technology can come in here and say, hey, we can fill that gap temporarily while the student continues to look for the internship jobs that can help them acquire those skills. So the world is changing quickly. We're seeing the gap, and our counselors are doing a ton of work already. So what can we do to help? Schooljoy is an overall a student-centered learning system. So we're focusing on how to use technology and AI create a more holistic experience, a more personalized learning experience, while focusing on the competencies that they need to develop. But what I'm more excited to share about is not just what we do, but the joy in school joy, our namesake. The joy to us represents this intersection of passion, profession, vocation, and mission, where students can discover the intersection of something that they love doing, the skills that they need to be successful in those occupations, getting paid for it, and aligning well to their sense of their mission in the world. Okay, so before we give you an actual simulated experience, I just want to quickly play this video. Um, some context here. Nemo is our durable skills training platform. So Schooljoy is the company name, and then within Schooljoy, we have a platform called Nemo. And Nemo serves both K-12 institutions, after-school programs, higher ed, and also employers. Okay, so let me quickly start the slideshow here.
Technical skills are critical.
But what happens when you need to resolve a conflict?
Or win over a skeptical client? Human connections are more essential than ever. Companies already agree that soft and durable skills matter as much as, or more than technical skills.
Yet the crucial skills that help us build trust and relationships are often learned on the job without authentic opportunities to practice. With Nemo, you can practice critical conversations with real-time feedback in a safe environment.
Hi, I am excited to be your practice partner today as we explore effective ways to communicate with non-technical stakeholders. Are you ready to dive in?
Each simulation lasts 5 to 10 minutes, and you can practice the conversations anywhere, anytime. At the end of each attempt, you also get detailed analysis and feedback so you can better lead, connect, and succeed in your role.
With Nemo, you'll get real practice and real results from scenarios designed to strengthen your soft skills for moments that truly matter. Explore Nemo today at getnemo.com and discover the power of your voice. Let's find your Nemo.
So just some quick context here. So Nemo is derived from the word anima, which stands for soul and life in Latin. So we thought, we will do a play on the word here, finding your Nemo and finding our purpose. And we've been using this platform and collaborating with amazing organizations across the country, from K-12 to higher ed to workforce development, really thinking about how we can continue to use this voice-based AI platform to scale our ability to help students feel seen for the skills that they currently exhibit and have, and also to use the same tools, not only for development of those core skills, but also for assessment. When was the last time we can really assess critical thinking, communication, or even empathy at scale? So now I think we have the tools to do it. Now it's just about working with partners to make sure that we're able to assess and proceed with fidelity here. This is a quick catalog of the different types of simulations, from career discovery to professional skills to student wellness and also communication and presentation skills. So what I do want to do here is to maybe ask the IYI team to be volunteers, and I just want to show everybody a couple different examples within the Nemo platform. We will share the link to the website. It's free, so you can just go to getnemo.com. I'll share the link as well, and you can just sign up and use try out some of the simulations. So what I'm going to do is hop over to getnemo.com. And you can see a lot of different catalog of simulations here. And the first thing that we loved, career coach. Okay. So I'll model this first for everybody. Actually, maybe Josh, if you're ready, maybe we can jump right in.
Sure.
Feel free to be either a very disengaged student or a very engaged student, or you can mix it up. And I just want to show, hey, this is how well it's able to adapt. And thanks so much for volunteering. So here we go.
Hi there.
Thanks for taking the time to chat today. I know career conversations might seem like just another thing you have to do, but I'm really here to keep it real with you and help figure out what could be next for you. I've worked with a lot of students who weren't sure about their path at first, but we always find some interesting possibilities together. Even though I'm not real, the impact we can potentially make together very much is. So I'd love for you to try your best as we continue with this conversation. Should we jump in?
Yeah.
Great. Let's start with something simple. What kinds of things do you enjoy doing in your free time? It could be hobbies, activities, or even things you find yourself naturally drawn to.
I don't know. I like to hang out with my friends and I'm on the baseball team.
That's a great start. Hanging out with friends shows you value connection and teamwork. And being on the baseball team says a lot about your ability to work with others, stay disciplined, and commit to something bigger than yourself. What do you enjoy most about being on the baseball team? Is it the competition, the teamwork, or maybe just being active?
I like winning and I like that I get to hang out with my friends.
That makes a lot of sense. Winning shows that you're motivated by goals and enjoy seeing the results of your hard work. And the fact that you enjoy spending time with your friends on the team highlights how much you value relationships and collaboration. Those are really strong qualities to have. Have you ever thought about how those traits, being goal oriented and a team player, could connect to a future career? For example, there are fields where teamwork and achieving results are key, like sports management, business, or even something like project management. Does any of that sound interesting, or should we explore other areas?
What's the first one you said?
Sports management. It's a field where you can combine your love for sports with skills like leadership, teamwork, and organization. People in sports management work behind the scenes to help teams, athletes, or even entire organizations succeed. That could mean managing a team schedule, organizing events, or even helping with marketing and sponsorships. Does that sound like something you'd want to learn more about, or should we keep exploring?
I think I'd be interested in that if it's about sports.
And I'll save you right there, Josh. Thanks so much for that. Um, and I'm going to end the simulation, and this should start. So what we get is the transcript right away, as well as a detailed analysis of the conversation. So everything is customizable. Some recent feedback that we from teachers, they've used this for writing coaching, and they actually came across a couple of students that felt anxious talking to this AI person, and I thought, wow, if they are already feeling anxious talking to an AI, how will they feel when they talk to a future potential employer? And the teacher was very versatile, so she grouped all the students that felt, not quite comfortable yet into a small group. So they talked to this tool as a group, while the other students were doing some independent learning. So that's just one example here. So one more can we do? So this is a conversation that can help a student go from I'm not sure what to do to having some clarity, and having this now information to hand off to the counselor means that they don't necessarily need to try to elicit so much information from the kid from that first conversation, and they can have a much more nuanced and productive conversation now when they meet with a student. Okay. There are also opportunities here. So what we have is for other types of career discovery, instead of talking to a nurse, or what if they can be the nurse? Instead of talking to a dental hygienist, what if they can be the dental hygienist for 10 minutes? So let me go ahead and find another example here for us to try. And I'd be happy to take to this one as well. And then we'll definitely do a banking one as well, just to kind of show the versatility of the types of experiences and simulations that we can create for you. Okay, let me try to find, I'm not sure if I see the healthcare, let's see. Okay, this is gonna be a harder one. This is a doctor trying to triage a patient's headache. This is a bit higher level, so let's try it here. Okay.
Hi there. Today, you will be a resident.
Oh, sorry, you got cut off.
Oh no, I am so sorry about that. Let me start again. Hi there. Today, you will be a resident physician conducting a patient assessment for a complex neurological case. Before we continue, can you tell me what year of residency you're in?
I'm sorry, I'm just in high school right now. I'm in 10th grade. So can we, I'm also doing a demo. So can we make this not as hard, please?
Oh, I see. Thank you for letting me know. No problem at all. Let's make this a bit simpler so it feels more comfortable for you. I will guide you through the process step by step, and we will focus on the basics of asking questions and understanding symptoms. Does that sound okay to you?
Yeah.
Great. So here's the setup for this demo. You are playing the role of a doctor in training, and I will be your patient. Your job is to ask me questions about my symptoms, figure out what might be going on, and come up with a plan to help me feel better. I will keep things simple and explain anything you might not understand. Are you ready to give it a try?
Yes.
Great, let's begin. I'm going to enter the role of the patient now. Hello, are you my doctor today?
Yes. How are you?
Oh, thank you for asking. Honestly, I am feeling pretty worried. I've been having these terrible headaches and feeling dizzy for about 3 months now. Recently, I have started dropping things. Just cannot seem to hold on to my coffee cup properly. My primary care doctor thought it might be migraines, but the medicine is not helping. Oh, and I have been having trouble sleeping too.
Oh, wow. I'm so sorry to hear that. So when did the symptoms start?
Thank you for saying that. The symptoms started gradually about 6 months ago. At first, it was just the headaches and dizziness, but things have been getting worse over time.
Well, can you tell me about how they first started and how they, kept getting worse over time?
Sure. At first, it was just these mild headaches that would come and go. I thought maybe it was stress or not drinking enough water. Then, after a few weeks, I started feeling dizzy, like the room was spinning sometimes. Over the last few months, the headaches have gotten more intense and the dizziness happens more often. Now, I am also dropping things like my coffee cup or my phone, and I feel clumsier. It is like my hands are not doing what I want them to do. And the trouble sleeping has made everything feel worse.
Okay, I think I need a little help here. I'm not sure what you say next.
That is totally okay. You are doing great so far by asking about when the symptoms started and how they have changed over time. Next, you could ask me more specific questions to get a clearer picture of what is going on. For example, do you have any other symptoms, like changes in your vision or speech? Have you noticed anything that makes the symptoms better or
Oh,
worse?
okay. Sorry to interrupt. Yeah, can I try that now?
Of course. Go ahead and ask me your next question. I am ready when you are.
Yeah. So have you noticed any other symptoms like changing your vision or any other discomfort in your body?
Yes, actually. My vision gets blurry sometimes, especially when I am tired. And I've noticed that I am more sensitive to light lately. It makes the headaches worse. Other than that, I cannot think of anything else right now, but it has been hard to keep track of everything.
Got it. Okay, so I'm going to end the simulation there. Probably did not do a great job, and that's okay. I think that especially for middle school students or even elementary students, we have other types of simulations that are leveled accordingly. We want them to explore. There's really no rules or requirements. We just want them to have a conversation with the patient, ask questions if they don't understand, and of course the organization and in some ways, this is just a bit more realistic experience than perhaps watching a video or reading about the occupation. And we do have hospitals, residency programs, and companies working with us to train their residents, employees as well. So we're developing a lot of internal expertise around what are the skill sets that the organizations and employers look for. How are those skills being applied in the daily day? And then we want to be able to bring that information and knowledge and expertise back to our K-12 and higher ed partners as well. So, and that's one of the main rationales that we had around expanding, our reach with Nemo, because we didn't quite know exactly how those skills were being applied, and it was really really important for us to start developing the industry partnerships as well. Okay. So I think financial services is also very much top of mind here. Um, uh, Normally, we would ask a lot of the attendees here to volunteer, but because this is the webinar format, uh, we're really putting the IYI team on the spot here. So Josh, you did the previous one. Tanner, how do you feel about being a mortgage um, consultant here?
Let's try it.
All right. So this is somebody making a phone call trying to get a mortgage. All right. Okay.
Hello? In this simulation, you will be a mortgage broker assisting a self-employed prospective homebuyer, Jesse, with the pre-approval process. Your challenge is to explain complex mortgage concepts clearly, address her anxieties about self-employment, and provide appropriate solutions. Are you ready to begin?
Yes, I am.
Great, let's begin. I'm going to enter the role of Jesse now. Hello, this is Jesse. I'm looking for a mortgage pre-approval. Who am I speaking with?
Hi, Jesse. My name's Tanner.
Hi, Tanner. Nice to meet you. So, I'm a graphic designer and I've been self employed for about 5 years. I've been wanting to buy a house for a while, but I'm a bit overwhelmed by all this. I really don't even know where to begin.
Do you have a budget in mind for how much you'd like to spend?
Not really. I mean, I have a general idea, but I don't know what I can actually afford. I guess that's part of why I'm here to figure out what's realistic for me. Is that something you can help with?
Yeah, we can help with that.
Oh, okay. That's good to hear because I'm kind of lost. What exactly is pre approval? Like, what does that mean? Is it really that important to do?
I don't really know what to say to her right now.
Okay. But can you explain what pre-approval actually is? Like in simple terms? I don't really know the lingo.
Oh yeah. Can we also pause for a second? This is our first time doing the simulation. Can you also maybe explain those terms to us?
Of course. Pre-approval is when a lender reviews your financial information like your income, credit score, and debts to determine how much money they might be willing to lend you for a home.
Wait, sorry to interrupt. I'm a middle school student. I don't quite understand credit scores and debts and all these terms.
Oh, no problem at all. Let me break it down even simpler. A credit score is like a grade you get for how well you handle borrowing money. If you pay back what you owe on time, you get a good grade or score. Debts are just the money you owe to someone, like if you borrowed money and haven't paid it back yet. Does that make sense?
Okay, can we resume the simulation in Tanner? Maybe just one more exchange and then we can wrap up.
Got it. Let's jump back in. So I'm self-employed, so I'm worried that it might be harder for me to get approved. Is that true? Like, is it more complicated for someone like me?
I think as long as we go through the pre-approval process, we'll be able to give you a better understanding of what you can afford and where you stand.
Okay, that makes sense. What kind of paperwork do I need to get started? I have like tax returns, but that's about it. Is there more that I need?
All right. So Tanner, thank you so much. Definitely put you on the spot here. Bit of a surprise as well. And I think that's what a lot of students will feel. First, there's that, oh my gosh, what do I say? But they can simply ask it to pause and just ask questions. So this is in no way a test, but we do want to give students as realistic of an experience as possible, because how many times, just thinking to your own experiences, right? Have you walked into a new school on the first day and feel intimidated and feeling like you don't know much? And now students get to practice that feeling so that when they do walk into the new office or the new workplace for the first time, there's a bit less anxiety and they know how to navigate those questions, and most important, know how to ask for help. So these are all the skills now they get to learn that wasn't quite possible before. So thinking back again to role play with someone you already know, it's really, really hard to replicate the experience of, hey, I'm talking to a stranger. Our brain is not, it's too real, right? But here we're using voice to trick our brain to thinking this is as close to a human being as we can. Avatars and video, so we are adding live transcripts so that the students can see the conversation taking place and being transcribed in real time. But with video, that's going to be harder because I don't think AI is good enough for this real-time exchange and for the video to actually be able to show the micro expressions well enough for our brain to think this is a real person yet. But I think we're getting used to Zoom and we're getting used to phone calls. And that's the other thing. We want our students to start, in any way possible, start getting used to hearing their voices again. Look away from the phones, have a conversation, because those are going to be the critical skills that they're going to need in the workplace as well. So I know
And there was a question, if you don't mind me interrupting. From Lori, have you used this or can you use this to listen to a counseling session or one-on-one session with a student and make suggestions while working with the client, youth, or student?
Yeah. We So the short answer is we're working on that. And this is a simulation-based training tool. So what can happen is for us to build simulations for the counselor targeting the specific exchanges and skills that and content areas that we want the counselor to focus on. And we can build something similar for the student as well. Now, when it comes to listening to the conversation, it's a different tool that we're working on where similar to our AI listeners, so we're working on a bot where you can invite to a Zoom meeting or Google Hangout and it's able to listen and transcribe for you and provide the analysis. But that may take a couple months on our part. But what we hope to work with you on is if you already have a sense of what skills and the types of exchanges that you want the learner to be able to acquire and focus on, we can work with you to build those simulations so that they can practice it.
Great,
All right.
thank you.
Yeah, no, thank you. So I know that there may be a mix of after-school programs in K-12 schools here. So we'll just maybe go through one or two more examples, and we may be able to give back some time to everybody. Would that be okay? Yeah. Okay. All right. So we have, let's see here. One of the more obvious use cases is a job interview coach. I'd be happy to do this one as well. Here we go.
Hi there. I'm excited to work with you and help you practice interviewing for a job position. First, could you tell me what grade you're in and what role you're applying for? If you're not sure, I can make up a job as well so we can do a mock interview coaching session.
I'm in 10th grade and I'm hoping to get a hospital internship.
That's fantastic. A hospital internship is such a great opportunity to learn and gain experience, especially if you're interested in healthcare. I know interviews can feel a little nerve-wracking, but you're already taking a great step by practicing. Let's start with a mock interview question. I'll ask you a question and you can take your time to respond. Afterward, I'll give you some feedback to help you improve. How does that sound? Here's a
Okay.
common question. Great. Let's start with the classic interview question. Can you tell me a little about yourself and why you're interested in this hospital internship? Take your time and I'll be listening carefully. When you're ready, go ahead.
I'm a student and I'm in 10th grade. I'm in band and I'm on the football team. I want to be a doctor one day because I just want to be able to help people. And it's also something that my parents told me I should think about doing.
Thank you for sharing that. You've got a great start here, and I can tell you're passionate about helping people, which is such an important quality for someone interested in healthcare. I also like that you mentioned being in band, and on the football team, it shows you're involved and well-rounded. Here's some feedback to make your response even stronger. 1, connect your activities to skills. Think about how being in band and on the football team has helped you develop skills like teamwork, discipline, or time management. These are qualities that hospitals value in interns. 2, focus on your personal motivation. While it's okay to mention your parents' influence, try to emphasize your own reasons for wanting to be a doctor. For example, is there a specific moment or experience that inspired you to pursue this path? If you'd like, we can try this question again with those ideas in mind. Would you like to give it another shot?
Sure. My name's Ian. I'm in 10th grade.
You're off.
I learned leadership from being in band and being on the football team. and I want to be a doctor one day because I was sick when I was younger, and doctors really showed me how they can really help people heal, and that really meant a lot to me.
Ian, that was such a thoughtful response. You did a great job of connecting your experiences to valuable skills like leadership. And I really appreciated how you shared a personal story about being inspired by doctors when you were younger. That makes your answer feel genuine and memorable. Here's what worked really well: leadership connection. Mentioning how band and football taught you
Oh, sorry
leadership.
to interrupt. Sorry, we're just a bit short on time. Can you tell me, maybe just give me, a suggestion on exactly what I should say next time?
No problem at all, Ian. Here's a suggestion for how you could structure your answer next time. My name is Ian, and I'm a 10th grade student. I've developed leadership and teamwork skills through my involvement in band and football, which I think would be valuable in a hospital setting. I'm passionate about becoming a doctor because when I was younger, I was sick, and the care I received from doctors inspired me to want to help others heal too. This keeps it concise while highlighting your skills, activities, and personal motivation. How does that feel to you?
Okay, that feels great. Can we go through another question that, just can make it a bit more challenging, but also a question that, we can also expect during hospital internship interview?
Absolutely, Ian. I love that you're ready to take on a more challenging question. This shows great determination. Here's one that's common in hospital or healthcare related interviews. Can you tell me about a time when you worked as part of a team to solve a problem or achieve a goal? What was your role and what was the outcome?
Okay.
Take your time to think about an example.
Great. So I took a bit longer there, and you'll notice that every example that we did, except for this one, was about 2 to 3 minutes, but they felt like 20 to 30 minutes. And here, it is, I just let it play out a bit longer to show really how you can interrupt, how you can have, just ask questions, and also ask it to focus on additional different questions that you may want. But it also has its own set of questions that it's able to guide the student through. You'll also notice that it's asking me first what job I'm interviewing for. So this is, meant for any type of occupation or job that the student may be getting ready for. And similar to other previous examples, the student can simply say, look, I'm in middle school, can make it easier, and is able to do that as well. Okay. Are there any questions so far? Oh, for looks like glad we covered the mock interview. Let's see.
There are some questions about uh, the, the free demo version, pay or not. If you want to address those now, that would
Yeah.
be fair.
So let's go to email.com. And then there is a button here that will allow you to log in with your Gmail. We're adding Microsoft Outlook support next. So once you click on that, it's to ask you to select which Gmail to use. And then you'll be able to log in, and the simulation should be, so let me show them on the screen here. And then you'll be taken to this page here. So it's going to look empty on the home page here. But when you click on Explore, you'll be able to see the other simulations that we have. So Debbie, did that help answer your question? Okay. All right. So let's go back to the presentation here. Data privacy security, we are and SOC 2 Type 1 certified. None of the data that we receive will ever be used to influence or train the model in any way. We absolutely do not include any types of advertisement, and we certainly do not sell the data. So everything happens within a closed AI system as well, and they sit on Microsoft Azure. Okay, want to make sure they. Yeah. So we have free, so we continue to add on to the free catalog of simulations, but we do work with organizations to build custom simulations. And we would invite you to reach out to us if you have a lot of students. So we haven't closed off this site just yet, but let us know if you're interested, and love to just think about, and we have how many students that you want to have access to, because it is costing us, for every exchange. It is expensive, so we hope to be able to cover our cost. But okay, this is our if you're a K-12 district, or if you're in after-school program or OSD program, we would love to just schedule a quick demo of what Nemo does, but then the simulations also sit within a broader learning system that I spoke to. That wasn't the focus for this presentation, but if you're interested in helping students build their portfolio, skills portrait, personalized learning, competency-based learning, that all sits within the Schooljoy platform as well. Okay. All right.
Ian, I did have a question for you as well. You mentioned that it is able to handle students that may be not giving enough information or maybe acting funny. I'm just trying to imagine what would happen if a student was giving dumb answers, for example, or answers that suggest they weren't taking it seriously.
Yeah. So we have a lot of guardrails in place, from students not taking this seriously to the students that may be revealing information that may be off limits. And then we have mechanisms in both instances. So there are restricted topics. So if the student, if this were an interview or if this were any, or even any simulation, right? If the students begin to talk about sensitive information, we do acknowledge it. We do provide an empathetic response, but we also ask the student to seek out a teacher or a counselor, depending on the degree or the severity of the topic that they reveal. We can control what students say, so all we can do is one, to observe, and then we do have notifications in place. So if the conversation does require escalation, we do notify the administrator or the point of contact. So this is also really important for us to have a conversation with your organization as well. So, if we open this up to all students immediately, while we have the guardrails in place, we want to make sure that we're able to work with you to set up the protection and other mechanisms in place as well, in case some of the more sensitive topics come up. Now, if the student were to not pay attention seriously, and we actually tried this with a couple of teachers, and they were just they used a lot of profanity, let me put it that way, and it got to a point where it just said, "Hey, it looks like you're not really ready to have a conversation today," and it just ended the conversation there and then.
Gotcha. So it knows, it can sense the difference between something that might be inappropriate and, say, a disinterested student.
Yeah, that's right.
Gotcha. There was a question. We've been mostly doing college and career readiness, but somebody asked about how it's used in teaching or how it's used on the education side. If you just want to give just a brief overview of that.
Yeah. This is a tool. So think of the simulations, if we're talking about the simulations in context of the K-12 learning system. It's a tool that teachers can use to supplement their whether it's for ELA, social science, or career college and career readiness. For the career coaching that you saw earlier, we will recommend for this to be a conversation that the students have prior to meeting with a counselor, or maybe it's a conversation that the counselor can suggest to the student as well. For the interview coaching, this is really depending on just, if there is an occasion that that comes up, they can use it. So, and then more broadly speaking, all of the be a nurse or dental hygienist for 10 minutes. Some schools are doing this as asynchronous learning activities that students can do at home, because the schools and the organization do see the transcripts for that. And it's used as, again, like a supplement to say, all right, if we are not able to get students these internships, and if we're not finding the videos as engaging as we like them to be, then this is just a great way to get engagement up, and then we want to think through, all right, how can we then sequence together all of these simulations so that they emulate a work-based learning opportunity, even if it's just for 30 minutes, that's still potentially 30 more minutes than the students would have gone before. Yeah, hopefully that was helpful.
Yeah, for sure. Another question. Do you have use cases within the state of Indiana that you could speak to? And if not Indiana, then beyond Indiana, and then schools that have implemented the tool and students and their experience, whether within school or after school programs.
Yeah. So we are just starting off in Indiana. We work very closely with Randolph Eastern. So about just this past couple of weeks, we just introduced this tool, but this is being incorporated in advisory periods, work-based learning opportunities, or Workforce Wednesday projects, just to give students an opportunity to kind of practice those conversations before they talk to real person. Uh, have use cases in Ohio, which is career coaching primarily, and then also for the writing coach. So we have ELA teachers and also social science teachers using this for students kind of, if they were to run into the writer's block, they're using the writing coach. And then for social science, we have simulations where you're talking to Julius Caesar, you're talking to Emily Dickinson. So that's primarily used as a way for students to have a conversation with a historical figure to bring history more to life. So yeah, this is, in a way, we're kind of creating a new really type of catalog of content and curriculum. And we're all, I'm sure as you are as well, learning to figure out the exact use cases. Now, the platform as a whole, Schooljoy platform as a whole, is standards aligned. And then we're working closely with the teachers to identify which standards would align well to both the content area that we're focusing on, as well as the competencies and the skills that students need to develop through these simulations.
Gotcha. And then can programs that use this product, or schools or programs that opt to use the product, are they able to request specific career options that they might not find in your catalog yet?
Yeah. So if the career options are already on our roadmap to build, then we're not going to charge you for it. Then just that just becomes an option. But if it is something that that is very custom for, we have a nonprofit pricing. It's a one-time. So let me maybe speak to pricing a little bit. So for nonprofit institutions, if you have K-12 students, the K-12 student annual cost is $40 for the year. And that's we hope I wish we can lower the price, but it's really just how expensive running these real AI simulations are. And then for adult learners, for nonprofits, it's about $180 per year. And then for the custom simulation development, there is a volume discount. So for the first simulation is 2,500 for nonprofits, but it does go down to 2,000. So we try to release as many of the pre-built simulations as possible, so you don't necessarily have to pay for the customization.
Gotcha. That's all we have questions so far. Ian, if you wanted to jump back in your PowerPoint and wrap up, there might be a few more that come in, and then I can wrap up, and there might be a few more that come in as well.
Yeah, no, that's I think that really covers it. Again, my goal today is just to show what's possible today, not the pitch whatsoever. We are very excited about this intersection of how we use technology to enhance our ability, not necessarily our ability, but just opportunities for us to practice those very critical conversations, the ones that we know will really matter, not just for career, but in life as well. So Josh, Tanner, Indiana Youth Institute, I just want to thank you for giving me the opportunity to share what gets us out of bed every day, and thanks so much everyone for coming to this conversation as well. So thank you.
Ian, and before I wrap up, there was one more question that came in. How many users can an organization have?
Yeah.
She's saying that they serve a statewide network.
Yeah, so I would recommend starting with a cohort of PIDA students who are learners first. I'm not a sales guy, so I would say let's start with a cohort of students. So that you as an organization can also see the level of engagement, the data that you're getting, how useful the transcripts are, and then we can iterate based on that and scale from there. Now, from a platform perspective, we are looking at about 200 concurrent users on the platform. That means 200 people at the same time. That's more than enough to currently handle a lot of the demand on the platform. And once we see, hey, we're at about 150 concurrent learners, then we'll be able to scale our platform from that point on as well. So would love to hear from you. My email is ian@schooljoy.com. Josh, if you can, would it be okay if you included that in the follow-up as well?
Yep.
And again, just thank you so much, everybody. Really, really appreciate it.
Yep.
And
Thank you.
Josh.
Thank you, Ian. And so just as we're wrapping up, I just want to thank Ian for being here again. As a reminder, a copy of the presentation PowerPoint will be sent out to all participants as well as a recording of the webinar. Additionally, we do have a few upcoming events that I'd like to spotlight. And so those are, the first is our National Summit on Youth Wellbeing. That's coming up in a couple weeks. I have included a couple examples of sessions that we have: confronting the loneliness epidemic, finding meaning, purpose, and growth, Alpha Gen and Third Space, and the connection between youth sport and youth well-being. Additionally, specific to IYI's college and regional webinars, we have our webinar on May 14th, which is Indiana's new diploma, key insights for organizations, families, and schools. And so that will be delivered by Ron Sandlin. We also have some college and career local connects. The registration will be opening later this week, but these will be coffee and a treat while discussing local college and career attainment networks. So that'll be June 3rd in Vigo County, June 4th in Vanderburgh County, June 11th in St. Joseph County, and June 12th in Lake County. And there'll be more connects coming soon. Following this, we do have professional development grants available through the College Counseling Initiative. It's up to $750, supporting youth access to continuing education, identifying learning opportunities that advance their work in the field of college and career readiness. Those will open up again after the start of the new fiscal year, so in July. And then with that, I just want to thank everyone that's attended today. We appreciate your impact and value your voice and the choice you made to learn and partner with us. Later today, you will receive an email with a link to complete an evaluation of this webinar. Please take a few minutes to let us know what you thought about today's presentation. If you don't receive the evaluation email, check your junk, as it may have been directed there. Once you complete the evaluation, you'll be redirected to your certificate of completion. So that concludes our presentation, and on behalf of Indiana's youth, thank you again for showing up today and every day for Indiana's youth.